What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode 165. I hate you. Of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Each and every week, we come at you with all the things that we love about video games. Kevin threw me off there. You can get the show live by going to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and watch along with us for just $1. Like so many of you are right now. Thank you very much.
This is happening right now.
This is happening right now. It's fantastic. You can get it VOD if you don't want to be here right now on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, or you can get it early and watch it whenever the hell you want on patreon.com/kindoffunny with the pre-show, post-show. If you're interested in Kingdom Hearts worlds we'd like to see and our thoughts on Disney and whether or not the Siamese cats and Lady and the Tramp are racist.
Spoilers, they are.
Yeah, that turned out
surprisingly. They are.
No, not surprised.
I was surprised. Yeah. I was surprised that I was like, there's no way. And then I looked at it.
Now, do you think this is because you're watching it as a child, not soaking it all in, right?
I mean, I saw Lady and the Tramp fairly recently, and I didn't think it. But again, racism is one of those things that I don't need to understand.
You don't need to understand. Wow.
Let me step that back.
Tim Gettys.
I'm not going to understand the racism that went on in the 50s in a totally different time.
I don't work here.
You're coming down with this ship. Now, it's an interesting point. My dad loves Charlie Chan movies. And I remember buying him those for Christmas one year, and he put them in, and I was like, these have not aged well. Yeah. This did not age well.
No, I think about the depictions, and they haven't aged well, or we haven't aged well, but the other thing we need to think about is that for a lot of people then, they saw it, without getting on a rant, one of the things about
on our game show about Charlie Chan.
Yeah, but one of the things about white privilege is that
sure.
You're not aware of things that were happening then. If you'd have showed that, if your dad had been sitting down with an Asian friend then,
sure.
There's a very good chance that Asian friend would be like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's not like people didn't know. It's that a lot of people weren't listening.
To clarify what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
It was no stereotypes I am familiar with. They're not the stereotypes from any generation even close to me that I've ever heard of. But it's like, hearing them, I'm like, okay, I'm aware of your perspective. Okay. Kind of Funny Gamescast, each year where we get together, talk about video games, all the things you love about them. I went through that already. You can listen to it on podcast services around the globe, including Spotify. Thank you very much for that. I'm Tim Gettys. This is the Reverend Jared Petty.
Doki doki.
This is one of the coolest dudes in video games. Greg, man.
Flapjack!
Flap motherfucking Jack. Are you ready to get that syrup poured all over you?
Pour it all over me.
Oh, yes. This is going to be a good episode. I already feel it. Let's kick it off right by talking about our Patreon producer, Tom Bach. Tom Bach's doing great stuff out there. Thank you very much. You should go follow him at Galunga on Twitter. Him and Snowbike Mike just started a podcast together.
Oh, nice. They've been streaming a lot, too.
Really? That's rad. Oh, check that out.
And also, thank you all for supporting us on Patreon. We're going to put your names right there.
There it is.
They're gonna scroll. I don't remember if they come up or go left or right, but
they definitely don't. They go up or down. They don't go left.
I'm kind of hoping they spin like the old video toaster effect.
Kevin will make something.
I hope it's edited very poorly and it's just like giant G all and like trying to spell a name across the screen.
Yeah. Let's get right into it. Greg, what you been playing? You want to tell me about that Rainbow Six Siege?
That's the new jingle. I love. You need to memorize it for this.
Oh, okay. I'll get right on it. Do you need to do the shoulder dance?
Yeah, you do. Okay. You want me to talk about Rainbow Six Siege, huh? This is a game that's flown under everyone's radar.
No one's heard of it.
Indie title that I just know. Obviously, it's Rainbow Six Siege. I remember playing at events. We did a GameSpot live stream when it first came out with Alfredo. We had a great time, and I never, ever picked it up. And remember, it seemed like it fell off the face of the earth. Turned out you moved a rock. There's millions of people playing it. They updated it. Everybody loves this game.
All right.
Yesterday, we sat down to do party modes. And Jared, it's been a long week here at Kind of Funny. Because we sat down to do party modes because in a week before, Andy got us all Rainbow Six codes or whatever and was like, everybody play this, everybody do this. You got to know what you're doing. I, of course, didn't because I was busy.
Yeah.
But Nick did. And Nick actually got addicted to it. And so every goddamn day I had to hear Andy come in and be like, I'm Nitro Rifle, and Nick be like, I'm Cheeto Fingers, and we've been playing Rainbow Six Siege. And like, they're talking about this and talking about Rainbow Six that, and how great it is. And I need to play it. And I'm like, I'm playing Fortnite right now. Leave me alone.
Okay.
We sat down and played this thing yesterday. We play Outbreak mode for a party mode. I do not enjoy it. It's fine. It's just in terms of a horde mode, zombie fighting, whatever. I've played better.
There's some guys coming at you and you're shooting at them.
Now, what didn't you like about it?
Just didn't enjoy myself.
I didn't get to partake in this party mode because it's only 3 players.
Yeah.
So it was you, Andy, and Nick doing it. And
I didn't find
was
it
just
compelling.
watching a little bit. It looked pretty fun. It looked pretty cool.
It's just not the kind. And the thing I should say is I don't think this is a quality speech at all. I think it's just not what I want to play. You know what I mean? Like I like If I'm doing horde mode kind of stuff, I want Left 4 Dead. I want to be able to pick up any weapon and run and gun, have fun. It's an action movie, blah, blah. Rainbow Six isn't that. And again, this is not me saying this game's not for this mode is not for Greg Miller is what I'm saying.
So you want a more arcadey kill lots of dudes experience.
Exactly. And because it's this weird mix-up of, I played Rainbow Six Vegas back on Xbox 360 when I first moved here with a whole bunch of IGN people. We played often. And that was a very methodical, we're moving through, we're doing this thing. Yeah, exactly. Strategy. Which I liked a lot. Whereas now trying to mix in, for me personally, the more technical combat of a Rainbow Six game with these zombies or infected or whatever the hell they are running at you and like, hey, we're setting the bomb and then we gotta wait until we kept dying and I wasn't having fun and it was just like whatever. And so we finished it and Andy signed off. I'm like, all right, great, we're moving on to another game. And like, oh no, now we're gonna do terrorist hunt. And I was like, motherfucker. Like it's the same way I don't want to play fighting games. You know what I mean? Like a Street Fighter. They're obviously great games. No, I'm not. It's just not for Greg. We jumped in and did Terrorist Hunt, and holy fucking shit, was that awesome!
Really,
I had a blast.
Okay,
it was 100%
very quickly.
Like, we finished it, and I wanted to go home and play Far Cry, but there was a point where I was like, "Do I want to tell everybody to try to do this again tonight?" Because that was so much fun. Because it's the Rainbow Six. I know, mixed in with Siege's whole ability to break down walls and use gadgets and fuck around and shit.
So you feel kind of like James Bond Fortniting Super Spy?
No,
Ninja,
not Super Spy at all. I feel like we are a tactical team and we're going in to get these motherfuckers.
But it's tactical, but with ability. I loved being able to look at the walls and watching you.
Sledge.
Sledge.
Yeah,
and you had the sledgehammer going in and just like breaking the walls down and hitting stuff, and then there'd be the things that were like barricaded reinforced so you couldn't get through, but it's like then you hit the part that didn't have that and it broke them. Like, video games are fucking cool.
And
it was rad.
And that was the thing of us all working together, of what everybody's ability was and trying to stick together. It reminded me, which is goofy of course, because it reminded me of that PlayStation VR game we played, Firewall, at PSX, where it was me and Andy in PlayStation VR with two other players in PlayStation VR facing off against four other people as the opponent team, and it was the exact same thing of Rainbow Six, first person. We're going there. We have to communicate. We have to talk. You have to know who's doing what. And Andy being like, "Oh, I'm tossing out a drone." This is back to Rainbow Six Siege. "I'm tossing out a drone. Don't shoot it. Okay, there's guys up there. There's over there. Contact this, that." You know what I mean? Like, it was awesome and it was so much fun. And it was cool to work. The game's beautiful. The game's fun. Like, I want to play more of that, and like when we ended that one, I was like, fuck, I don't have enough time to do another one. I wanted another one.
I totally wanted to do as well. And what I liked about it is the mode that we played was against bots.
Yeah.
And it kind of, as somebody that had never played it before, jumping in, I'm like, oh, this is fun. I feel like when I died, I was like, all right, that's my fault. But when I was killing people, it felt good.
Yeah, totally.
And like working with you guys and especially working as a team, even though we didn't do that well doing that.
Party mode. Part of the every fun. Wednesday, patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and youtube.com/kindoffunnygames.
When we did, and using like there was a moment where I used the drone to go out and find people and mark them down. I'm like, it's really cool.
So is the teamwork the hook for you? Is that what does it?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play alone. It's definitely the idea of us playing together and the stories we were having, right, of our successes and our failures. And like, when everybody was dead on one of the playthroughs but me, and like everybody watching my screen, like through spectating and commenting, and they see this and like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like, there was that, but there was we're all together. How are we going to do this?
Wait, did it accomplish that rarest of all video game feats? Did you have fun losing?
Oh yeah,
totally. I love that.
So here's my problem.
Man.
Is I disagree, and this is just where I come in with my style of play. Is I much prefer the Halo type games where it's like, oh, you die, you get to come back in and play.
Sure.
Like maybe have a longer respawn or something, but it's like, and I get it, and I understand the importance of the PUBG style, Counter-Strike style. You dead. But I didn't like having like 15 minutes later of you just like going around doing your thing and not being able to play and do stuff. And I get that's not the game. I can play Firefight and Halo if that's what I'm looking for.
Right.
But I did enjoy the fun of it of when I was playing. But yeah, it's just like when I lost, I was kind of like, I knew why I lost and I was like ready to get back in. I was just like, I wish I could get back in quicker.
I hear you. Yeah, I like the finality of it. I think that works for that thing. I like the idea of, we jumped in, there's 18 or 14 terrorists that you've got to go through and get, and there's only there's 4 of us, and how is that going to net out in the end, and seeing those numbers trickle down on both sides of the equation?
So I need to camp out here because this is the kind of game that I really do enjoy, but I tend to only enjoy when I'm in the room with people.
Sure.
Like I want to be in the office.
Point.
I want to be in the same building, and I realize that's such an that's such an anachronistic way to think. That's a LAN party way of thinking that's
Yeah.
far gone. But I don't enjoy that kind of experience as much online, and I love it when I'm in the room and I can feel the energy and hear the shouts echoing off the walls.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna have to sneak in here and do this someday.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to do more of them.
Okay.
And I know Andrea is a big fan, so we should get together and
I
get
would
a whole bunch
love
of people
that.
together.
It
yeah.
sounds great.
But no, it was
down.
super fun, yeah.
Did
And
you?
then-
Go ahead.
Go
Sorry.
for it.
Did you play Undertale yet?
I
Well,
did.
we'll get some of that later.
Oh, okay, it's on the agenda.
There's
I didn't realize
because we're trying to be better with
look,
time
I'm
codes.
just sorry about that.
Yeah,
man.
no, you're
Didn't know
killing it.
about
You're
that.
killing
All
it.
right.
We'll get to the Jared Petty challenge soon. But after Rainbow Six, we played Fortnite.
Yeah.
That was interesting for my first time playing.
That was your first time playing Fortnite,
First time
huh?
playing. The first time, I mean, I obviously am aware of Fortnite
Sure,
and the
yeah,
phenomenon
yeah.
that it is.
You didn't just wake up from a coma.
And the first time I actually really watched it, I watched about an hour of the Drake and Ninja stream that they did.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like I got an idea of the building and how it differs from PUBG.
Sure.
Smaller map and just kind of a different focus. And it was cool and interesting to me. It looked overcomplicated. And from playing it, I'm like, oh, this is overcomplicated. But it's one of those things where it's really not. And that's just, it just on the surface seems that way. After playing about 3 rounds, I was like, I mean, I'm still not able to build. I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But I am having fun. And having a team of people that didn't know what they were doing to an extent made it a lot of fun. I'm like, man, I totally get this. And it did play better than PUBG. Although I hate the fact that I'm playing these games and there's all this like weird pop-in issues and you were saying it's just the internet. I went home and did it on mine. I was still having them.
I guess I just don't know what you were seeing. That's the biggest thing.
It's like when you're playing and then it's just like in the distance you just see like a bush pop up or a tree pop up. And to me, with that type of game, if I see motion,
You think
I
it's
want to
something,
fucking
yeah.
shoot it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? And that I just hate it. And it happened to me in a totally different type of game. But Shadow of the Colossus, where I'm like, it's such a beautiful game that to me the visuals are kind of ruined when I'm seeing the grass textures like pop up in front of me. It reminds me of Inception. Watching things just kind of build and form.
See, I have astigmatism, so that's how the whole world works for me anyway. I never noticed.
Everything's popping in real life.
But what about you? I'd like to ask you to qualify the statement. You said it played better than PUBG. Can you define that? What do you mean by that?
I feel like I was in more control of it. I felt like when I hit the buttons to make
you
the
wanna look
character
up
do
there, you're
things,
gonna be able to look up
I
there
was
real
just-
quick.
I was
Yeah.
doing that, and like with the exception of the pop in, I felt like the world loaded better. Like going around where I feel like PUBG. I mean, man, if I'm bitching about popping in Fortnite,
Oh, sure, yeah.
in PUBG, that's just the way that it is. It could be right in front of me in a building will pop up, but. I don't know. It just I liked the way it controlled, and for me, I feel like that's how it played better.
Okay, makes sense. Does it feel more refined to you, more polished?
I mean, it's definitely clear that it's being made by a real team of people that make games. And again, a
Epic,
lot of this
yeah.
I'm probably biased about just from other people's opinions and reading about it and seeing people's thoughts on it. But it definitely, I'd be interested if PUBG had the same group making it that Fortnite does. I like where that game.
Oh, sure,
would
yeah.
be.
If it had the resources that Fortnite has, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say. I mean, from my experience, I like PUBG better.
Wow, see, I'm totally the opposite. And I guess that's not 100% correct. I love PUBG, right? When that dropped on Xbox, Kevin and I played a ton of it. I'm a big fan of it, and that's what I know it from. We played a little bit PC here and there. Fortnite continues to be, since Andy said we got to start playing Fortnite for party mode or whatever, so get your feet wet. When I jumped back into Fortnite, it was the same night I got the mobile version, and I played them all, and I was amazed by the progression being linked together. I was amazed by the fidelity on mobile and on a console and all this different stuff. Fortnite is a game I will be, or would be at least, super down the rabbit hole with if there weren't a million other things I need to play right now. You know what I mean?
Mobile version.
Yeah.
How's it play?
I think it plays really well. Like, again, understand I'm the most novice Fortnite player, right? Like, well, not the most, I guess. I don't build a lot, but that's the thing is like, I feel like there's the progression of it. Of when Fortnite originally dropped and I tried it and it was a very, it was a little more cumbersome to build. I was very much like, I'm just not going to build. I'm just going to run on PUBG it. And that was fine, but it wasn't great. And so now coming back and it is a bit easier the way they've done it, the way you paint with stuff, as Andy's always talking about. I find myself now being like, oh, I want to get up to that high spot. I'm going to do this and do that and get in there, break the wall, get in, build a wall behind me. Like, I know this is not advanced mechanics at
It's
all.
learning the language.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in the
this is a
process of
cat.
taking the steps right now. And if this had dropped on a January time frame for me, if this had come into my life in a January time frame where it was a drought and I didn't have a million things to play, I think I'd be playing a lot more of it. Now, to me, the mobile version runs really well.
That's what I wanted to ask. If I'm playing on mobile, am I going to go into compromise rage? See, I really enjoy if I'm playing a game on a mobile platform that's been well ported and maybe they slow things down, for example, so that the input the change control input is compensated for in the game, and everybody's still on that level playing field. And while things have to be done more slowly, it paces out and everything's still equaled out. I love that. Or I love games that are designed with mobile interface in mind in the first place.
Sure.
Am I going to have that kind of compromise rage coming over from Fortnite on a console platform and playing it on phone, or am I going to adapt well to that?
I am not the guy to answer because I haven't played enough to be like, oh man, I'm so invested in this thing. Like even Andy, who's played a lot of PC Fortnite, he's like, man, it's just harder to it's hard to build on console. And I'm like, I'm sure it is. For me, it's super easy because I don't know the opposite, right? And so as somebody who don't know, like I'll jump in right now. Cool, Greg, do you know how to run Skycam? You might want to grab Kevin and get Skycam up and running so he can do that pinch zoom shit he does all the time.
Skycam.
But like, yeah, I mean, right now, like in terms of, I can't imagine, and again, not being good at the game, period, but being somebody who I'm going to jump in on mobile and play with other players, not on mobile, right? Like I jump in and it says up there that you're playing on the same platform and all these different things. Is there a compromise too? Of course there is. I mean, it's not. I'd prefer to have a controller. I'd prefer to this. I think there's solutions for not having the controller work.
You?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they've added that yet.
Oh, they haven't added that.
I don't
yet?
know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But I mean, like it runs and it's responsive. And again, it's you know, I was talking about it before where I can't imagine like when we were running around, screwing around, coming back from DICE, and I ran into the Lair guys, and they were playing the knockoff PUBG mode or PUBG version, not Fortnite. It was that thing of like, okay, cool.
We got Skycam.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. Well, let's do what I can. I mean, like you've played on your PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
Sam? I mean, like this looks like it, and
Yeah, it does.
I don't feel like there's a compromise big enough for me to be like, man, what's going on? There's the popping you're
There's
talking
that
about.
popping.
Or somebody already trashed it. No, there it is. Like,
Was that popping or was that someone building a bridge?
well, since they were already up there, I think it was popping.
See, yeah, but that is exactly.
I
what
think
I'm
you
talking
just
about.
answered my most important question, which is that you have the ability to make sure you're only playing with people on your same platform.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to do. That's probably going to do it.
And
for me
again,
right
as a
there.
novice Fortnite player, I imagine. That's fine. I imagine there's ways not to do it that way because it says up there that you're only playing with people. I imagine settings you can jump in and cross
you hear me for a
platform.
second?
Yeah, you're about to
prefer
drop
to
in.
play on phone with other people. On
Like
phone,
I think for me it just came along at the right time of okay, cool. I'm just getting my feet wet in Fortnite, and now I'm gonna go cook a little bit. Oh, I played an hour and a half on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go put something in the oven and fool around in this. And like, great, I'm bad at the PlayStation 4 version. I'm bad at this version. And when I say bad, keep in mind I got to number 4 on my second game.
Yeah.
Like getting my 2 chicken dinners in PUBG were totally me hiding as a coward and then running people over in cars. And like that was the thing when I put up the screens, people were like, you only killed 1 person. How did you do it? I'm like, well, I'm a fucking coward, and at the very end, I'll swoop in and kill you. Whereas with Fortnite, I got to number 4 and had a bunch of kills because this one plays more like third-person shooters I'm used to.
Okay.
Whereas PUBG has, even on Xbox, PUBG feels like I'm playing a PC shooter, which I'm not good at. I'm not accustomed to. That's not how I play. You know, people, when you play a shooter on console and you are a PC gamer, like my wife, she's always like, it's too floaty. It's not. You know what I mean?
I'm one of those people.
And like, since I only know that, this just feels more natural for me anyway. And I think the Fortnite control scheme they have, again, as a super novice, works. Where it's like I can run, and then like if you can start shooting by tapping, but there's also a shoot button above the
That's what
joystick.
I'm trying to figure out the shooting thing.
Go above with your above the joystick with your left hand. You do that, whatever.
So the importance
But it's like
of original control. That's
It's
really
totally like if you hand me a PlayStation 4 controller and a PS4 Pro or that and my phone, what am I going to choose? I'm going to choose the PlayStation 4. But
Oh my god, this is kind of mind blowing. I'm gonna be real.
And that's my thing is like
Is it free on mobile too?
Yeah, I mean right now it's invite only, but that's my thing of when I got it, I tweeted out like, holy shit, mobile gaming is not my jam. Fortnite is not my jam.
Yeah.
I'm not coming in as I would talk like, hey man, I know everything about fucking PlayStation Vita. Like, I'm like, holy shit, this thing runs so great. And so many people are like, oh, it's not 60 frames per second. And oh yeah, whatever, Greg. Like a bunch of other people are like, no, I love it. It's great. I can't believe it. It's like, for what they're trying to do, it's great. And
this is really impressive.
And when I went to bed that night, right, and it was like, oh cool, Jen's washing her face or whatever. Yeah, I'll start a game. And I started a game and played, and it was like, this is kind of what we've always dreamed about, no? Like,
my thing is, especially on the iPhone 10, it works very well because you get so much screen real estate where having your thumbs on the screen isn't obscuring too much.
Yeah.
Because even with the iPhone, like with the previous iPhones, even the big ones, like I feel like these type of games, my thumb's got in the way too much. But there's a lot of real estate there.
And for me, it's like one of those. It's just such a great gateway a drug to it of like, okay, cool, I have some time and I do it. And I'm like, man, that was really fun. I do want to play more when I get home. I do want to do more here.
Now I'm going to ask my wrong side of the tracks question.
Sure.
When we get an Android.
Dude, just give up. All right, just give up and come to us. The real.
I came over from your side. I came over from my.
That was a dumb move. That was a dumb move.
Left.
You listen too much to Kevin. The real question is, and I know they've said no, but when are we getting on Switch? Because you want to talk about fucking game over. You can play this on Switch. I'm at the airport and I'm playing on Wi-Fi. We get here and we all want to go screw around, drop in. Like, not that it's. Well, for us, it is hard. You know, we don't all have I do, but we don't all have standing PlayStation 4 setups and things ready to go. Like, God forbid, I can't play a PlayStation game on my desk whenever I want to. But for everybody else,
good point.
Yeah, wow. I just playing it right now. That blew my mind. Like, I expected.
You should get an invite because there's
more toned down
I'm just
than
saying, man. Like, there's something to this.
I really enjoy mobile gaming.
Impressed
This
with
is really exciting to see this happen.
And see, that's the thing. As somebody who doesn't enjoy mobile gaming, I can see myself doing it. And like the fact that it's all just like I'm still so blown away that it's just one unified account and you drop in and it's the same interface and it's the same everything. And yeah, I bought that skin, so there it's already.
It almost has like that Chrono Trigger ring to it. Like somebody sat down and made a list of everything that you hated about RPGs and took all that out and just left the good stuff. Yeah. And then made a list of everything you wanted and threw it in. It seems like every feature has been very, very, very carefully thought out.
I am remiss. I can't think of another game that has I've turned around on perception on so quickly in like the journey Fortnite has been on from announcement from Cliff Bleszinski. Oh, that's a cool trailer, whatever. Silence for years, finally resurfaces at Judges Week and I see it and I'm like, oh, that's a cool game. I'll never play that. I don't want to do that kind of thing, but I understand why people would like it. Releases to very little fanfare. Looks like it's just going to be another Paragon where if you like it, you like it, and if not, you don't. They come out and they say, hey, yeah, we love PUBG. We're putting a Battle Royale free-to-play mode in our game. And everybody's like, well, that's a weird thing to say, and is it bad? And
boom.
PUBG's going to talk shit about him, and then they fucking come out, and people love it, and they continue to go on. Had a very interesting meeting today.
Ooh.
I'm not going to tell you. No, I don't think I want to talk. Well, I probably could, but I want to read the article this person wrote. And it's a friend of ours.
Oh.
You there's no easy way for me to tell you who it was.
I think I know.
Okay. Oh, you saw it on the counter?
I'm so confused.
But it was this whole like mad theory, like diatribe thing. He described it as like a fever dream that he wrote of like chronicling how Fortnite turned all this around. And got
Thank you very much. Awesome. I just got an invite.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who's watching?
I don't know if I should say names.
That's probably. I bet I can tell who's watching.
I want an invite.
Send Jared an invite.
I want an invite.
Okay, send Jared an invite.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And so yeah. Again, as somebody who hasn't tracked all of it, just like, oh, that's cool. Fortnite's doing that, and it seems popular, and all this stuff's popular. Like going back to a certain update that then kind of catapulted it. I don't know. Fortnite's crazy, and I can't believe it's doing what it's doing.
Yeah, no. Playing it, the one thing that I did like a lot more than PUBG is the coloring of the weapons to know what's better than the other. Because playing PUBG, I don't fucking know. And I know it says level 1, level 2, level 3, or whatever the number of things that PUBG has. But I like how clear it is. And once you understand the coloring system,
I'm sure somebody who's more invested in PUBG or whatever would maybe argue with me, and maybe it's just because I was playing the Xbox version that has so many problems with it. But like Fortnite, whether it be on the mobile phone or on the PlayStation 4, just the immediacy of it. It's what you're talking about, kind of, right? It's permadeath, but I feel like, oh shit, I died. Restart, ding, I'm back in. Yeah. Whereas PUBG it felt like a little bit more like, oh fuck, all right, well, this is granted me and Kevin playing, we're a bunch of idiots. So like we leave and then like the party got disbanded because it's fucking or game access. You try to add each other, doesn't work. Somebody joins, fuck, get him out of here, do this. Yeah. Go in, load, there's no textures. Here come the textures, like all this different stuff.
Here come the textures.
And just the pace and the speed of the game, I like so much of like it just doesn't feel as like when I die in PUBG, it is like, all right, cool. Oh, that was it took me a long time to get to that death. Whereas in Fortnite, I feel like I'm just going.
I think it's the size of the map, probably.
Sure. That's a good point.
Do you think PUBG is going to survive this?
Yeah, it'll survive. I think it'll keep going, but it is the question of.
I mean, PUBG Mobile just launched in the US as well,
and it did really well. You know, of course, it's actually out, whereas this is invite only, and there's a few apples to oranges comparisons there. But PUBG is going to survive. But the question is, how much further ahead can Epic get to make PUBG like H1Z1? Like, you know, can it do that? Can it get to where it's DayZ, where we're just so far gone you don't even think about the predecessor that came? I don't know. I don't know if Fortnite does that, but it easily could, because every story I read on Kotaku about schools banning phones and they've crashed the Wi-Fi at this high school and like people are narking on each other. It's like, geez, all about Fortnite on mobile because
like
it's
Pokemon
just
cards,
everyone
man.
wants to play it. Yeah.
Iconoclast, Greg, another game that you played.
I jumped back in. So if you remember, probably on a Gamescast, I said something like, started it, played it for 15 minutes before something happened, and I had to leave it, but I really liked what I played. On the plane ride home again, because I'm doing Mr. Jared Petty's homework.
Oh, that's exciting.
His assignment. I at some point popped over. I was like, what else do I have? And Iconoclast, and played more Iconoclast on Vita. Still really dig that game. I think it didn't get enough fanfare when it came out. It is, and this is going to sound insulting, and I hope the ghost of Colin doesn't come and get me. It's like, for me, a more attractive Mega Man to me, where it is, she feels lighter. The gunplay seems faster. It's not as punishing. And so that's what it is of running around then with a few light puzzle solving elements of but making me actually think of okay, crank this thing open, go through the doorway, crank the next one, but how do I get that to there? And moving platforms around and stuff. 2D side scroller, everything I just described.
The Mega Man comparison is interesting to me.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that from Iconoclast before.
Yeah, and again, this is somebody who doesn't have that attachment to those games and doesn't have that in my repertoire. So Colin would probably scoff, or maybe Colin would be able to tell you exactly what the differences and similarities are. Whereas for me, it's just like, oh, this feels like the way I always wanted Mega Man to play.
Okay, so you went from, you had my curiosity, now you have my attention.
Give it a shot, man. Yeah. It's one of those
definitely.
that's, I think, on everything,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Well, why not play it on anything? Why play it on anything but Vita?
Exactly. Trophies on the go. What else do you need? You know what I mean?
Go.
There you go.
And then you finally did it, Greg. You went back for the Jared Petty challenge.
So if you
Undertale.
remember, ladies and gentlemen, weeks ago,
Long ago.
Reverend Jared Petty and I were on this very same show.
Yep.
And Undertale came up as a Nindy.
Yep.
To which people were very excited about. And I was like, cool, I'm glad people are excited. I know people love this game. It just didn't click for me. And Jared was aghast and said, what? How did it not click? And da-da-da. I'm like, well, I didn't get that far. I don't even. It's like, you're not even out of the tutorial. You got to keep playing. It's not even that long. You're going to enjoy yourself. Blah, blah, blah. I've gotten the trophy that's something like I'll read it to you. It insinuates I'm at the midpoint.
Okay.
It's a silver trophy. I beat one of the skeleton dudes.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm talking
One of the skeleton dudes.
Yeah, the skinny one. He's my friend now. He's got some cute dialogue.
Yeah,
there.
got some brothers there. Got some good
exactly.
skeleton going
What's his
on.
name again? I forget.
You talking about Seraph or Sans?
Oh, yeah, it's Sans, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't he the skinny one who's like got the chip on his shoulder? Very cute. Of go fight my brother. It means a lot to him, kind of thing. I liked all that stuff. I want to get the trophy right. Those are my Iconoclast trophies. Everybody, sorry.
Got to dig up those trophies there.
Mm-hmm.
You realize this trophy you're mentioning will mean nothing to me.
It's midpoint is what I got. Arrive at waterfall. Does that
Okay,
help
at the
you?
waterfall. Okay.
Okay.
It's about halfway through.
I still do not like this game.
Don't like the game?
I'm
All
sorry.
right.
I'm sorry. I'm trying.
You got the midpoint.
I appreciate you giving it the good college try.
I love you.
To be fair, reaching the midpoint of this game means you're actually only about a tenth through it.
One of those deals.
Midpoint in this game is actually a terrible lie.
Okay.
But
I hoped that I could just be like, I've played it.
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, most of what you'll discover about Undertale doesn't reveal itself until you've beaten it the first time.
I'm not about that life. That's that near automata life.
No, it's well beyond that even. I don't know. It's very much a different
I love
game.
that people love it. It's just like, for me, it just doesn't on any box check anything.
I appreciate you trying.
You know I'm there for you.
Did you, how did you approach the game? I'm curious. What was how did you
the first
engage
time
the characters around you?
I'm not, when I can spare them, I spare them. Mm-hmm. Is that what you mean?
Well, are you sparing people?
Yeah. When I spare people, I can spare.
You wanted to do that, or what motivated you?
Oh yeah, of course. I think there's a whole misunderstanding here. It seems like there's a giant misunderstanding whenever I talk to people about monsters and humans, especially when I get down there and they got this lovely little town. So why would I want to come in here?
When you said you could spare anyone, you spared anyone.
Yeah.
Who did you find you couldn't spare?
The frog in the beginning, right? Didn't I have to kill him?
Stuff going on in this game.
Yeah. People always do that. Wink, wink.
People are doing that because they don't want to spoil Undertale. No, but
spoil it. Just tell me why anybody cares about this game. I don't get it.
When does 2B get involved?
Huh? What's that?
Nothing.
Okay.
He's making some dumb Tim reference. Don't worry. It's about Disney.
Here's the quick pitch on why people care about Undertale.
Are we spoiling it?
No, I don't want to spoil it.
Do it, coward!
Huh?
No, don't do it.
No, that'll make people too angry because Undertale. If you spoil Undertale, there's no point in playing.
Okay,
it is really that much a. But the way you engage and approach the world around you has monumental consequences. Not some dialogue tree changes or some opening up of small things or maybe a different ending. It has monumental changes in the way that the game plays out. Also, the game will not, and this is no spoiler, I think, for anybody that knows anything about Undertale, the game will not let you forget what you've done. There is no restarting. There is no new game. I don't know if you realize that or not, but the decisions you've made in previous playthroughs,
Oh, really?
even if you restart or die and come back or try something differently, the game knows you did that.
Oh, interesting.
And it will have an effect in the world because your attempt to restart is metatextually connected to what's going on in the story and how it unfolds. The game kind of knows you're sitting there playing it, and the story is connected to that. And I don't want to go any farther with that, but you will come to moments in Undertale where decisions that you made flippantly hours earlier as something you just do when you play a video game will come back to haunt you and, for me, break you. Because you start caring about some of what's going on, or I did.
Yeah.
And when you get invested, you discover that the way you have nonchalantly approached this has affected these people in ways you would have never predicted in a video game. The closest analogy I can draw is Mother 3, if you've ever played that.
No, I mean, I know of it.
Yeah, Mother 3 has this idea that the actions of the characters around you are really affecting these very real people in the world in ways that are not easily predicted. And you get some of that with Undertale. So without going on a long rant, I can understand not enjoying it as a Dragon Quest style RPG. I do think it's a fun masterwork. I enjoy the combat very much. I enjoy the pacifist combat even more. We're trying not to kill people. Taking the opposite stretch and trying a genocide run is likewise, and that's a very real thing.
Yeah.
You come to moments in the game where it all loops back in fascinating ways, but instead of that being like a gimmick, it opens up new avenues to gameplay. And unfortunately you won't reach that at the point that you're at in the game.
Sure.
Because halfway is, it's lying to you.
Gotcha.
That's all I can say.
Okay.
But yeah.
So, Jared, we're only going to talk about 2 games that you've been playing this week.
2 games.
2 games. The first one, you were issued a challenge for Enchanting Mahjong Match. Now, before
I was issued a challenge.
Space kittens in space or whatever the
Space
fuck
cats with lasers.
Space cats with lasers.
Got that challenge.
Now, an Enchanting Mahjong Match. We needed to know, was there anything enchanting about it? What's the story?
Enchanting Mahjong Match is not particularly enchanting. It's a competently made solo Mahjong game.
It's just Mahjong? That's it?
It's Mahjong Solitaire. And you're sitting there trying to match tiles. It has some little things built in, like here's a bomb, and here's a timer, and here's a reward system. But it's a decently made, competent, thoughtful, kind of well-polished Mahjong Solitaire game where the better you do, the more tiles you can take off so you can look at women doing quote-unquote sexy poses.
So that's the enchanting.
They're
part.
enchanting. They're sitting there kind of going like that.
Yeah.
And
we'd spare you the money on the game.
You know,
get it free here.
I don't want to take away from because it is there's a little more TLC in the interface design and stuff than you often find in products like that. Frankly, they did put a lot of work into it. So I don't want to besmirch that, but if you like,
This motherfucker just dropped the word
Besmirch.
yeah, if you like Mahjong Solitaire, sure. I'm not a big fan of there used to be like Gal's Panic when I go to Japanese arcades, and it's just a game of kicks where you're trying to make a scantily clad woman underneath visible by drawing boxes around her. Not really my cup of tea.
So I have a question for you then.
Yeah.
Was Kirby Star Allies your cup of tea?
So wait, Kirby Star Allies? Is that Kirby Easy Allies? Star Allies? Is that what it's?
Love and respect.
It's Star Allies.
Star Allies.
Easy Allies.
Easy Allies is another
Brandon
Patreon
Jones.
There's
Yeah.
something in my head that got mixed up.
Brandon
They've been
Hoover
talking to you.
and
They're
all
trying to hire you too.
I got
Brandon
Superstars.
Jones, back the fuck off.
Anyway, Kirby's fun. I like
Fun
Kirby games.
or fun?
Fun.
Fun. Okay.
Yeah, Kirby's fun. I like Kirby games. It's a Kirby game. It's a mainline Kirby game, which means you're getting a very easy, highly creative game. You will have a fun time platforming. You will feel powerful. You have a ridiculously diverse moveset for a game with such relative simplicity and lack of challenge. You can engage it lots of different ways, constantly get new abilities. The AI is good. Your companions are helpful to you. They don't get in your way. There's some really creative, fun things you can do with the characters come together. The puzzles are super easy. It is a great game to sit on a train and play when you just want to escape into a colorful world of fancy and fun for a while. It's a good game to play with people. You can play with up to 4 people. It plays fine by itself. It's a good game to play with your kids. It's fun. It's the kind of thing that if you went and did a party mode with it, there wouldn't be a lot of screaming and shouting about tension.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of approach, but it is full of aw or oh that's cool or this is a game where one of your, you can use your ability, you steal enemies' abilities, you steal enemies and turn them into allies, and then the allies can grant you their abilities on top of the ones you've stolen. So suddenly I turn into an iced curling disc and a friend kicks me along and I blast through a wall. And, it's fun things like that.
And I played the game as well, just a little bit. I'd say maybe an hour or an hour and a half with Gia, which was a moment because she doesn't play games. And I've been trying to, like, little by little, every once in a while, she'll be interested in something and be like, let's try. I'm like, all right. And we tried Super Mario World a couple months back, and I talked about that. And it's like, she doesn't get it. And it's crazy to me. I'm like, how do you not get it? But it's like, she just doesn't get it. And I'm like, okay. But she did understand the move and jump. Once you added the run, that's where things just got all messed up. And that's why watching her play Kirby, I'm like, huh, she gets it. Like, totally instinctively, I didn't need to tell her anything. She was just playing, and it made a lot more sense because of the pacing. And I'm like, okay, cool. I just watching the game, knowing the game, like it's for younger kids and for playing in groups with other people. I'm like, okay, cool. There's definitely a place for this game. Not for me.
Yeah,
but the things that I liked about it though is I feel like it has the same level of polish that a lot of the Wii U era Nintendo games did, where it's like visually it looks great. The colors and the models they use for everybody is awesome. The sound design and music is awesome, and a new level for Nintendo and for Kirby. And I feel like that's something that Kirby's always had a really good grasp on, is the music composition and all of that. And so there is a charm to it all. But the thing about the party modes is I feel like there is a fun there, because once you get to the boss fights, it does turn into kind of chaos when you're working with the 4 people and one person is kicking the ice block away. And it's like, it's fun in the same way that New Super Mario Bros. 4-player is fun, where it's like, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
But I feel like Kirby is like a step back from that.
Yeah.
Not as frustrating, because I was super frustrated.
Yeah, it's not as frustrating.
You can't screw your friends over as bad in this.
Yeah, the screwing over is more like, and then get back to it. It's not like, I'm in a bubble, get me out of the fucking bubble.
Yeah.
Kirby is not a game about failing. It's not an experience. There is challenge. There are stakes, but the stakes are fairly low, and that's one of the things that I like about it. And it was always designed that way, all the way back to the original Game Boy game.
Yeah,
it's just kind of a thing that's like, this is a charming, musically gratifying, slow-paced, super well-designed, super polished platformer. And now you can bring along some friends. Kirby's Epic Yarn is probably the closest analogy.
I played that one. I think that was probably my first my first Kirby game that I ever played. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, I thought it was super simple, but it was what it was, and it was cute and endearing, and I played it.
Yeah, this isn't quite as cute as Epic Yarn, but as a game, it's a little more polished. So you're trading one for the other. Like, it's still cute and beautiful, but it's definitely made some sacrifices to have 4 people in, but it also has some really fun ideas. And you got that kind of Smash Bros. Moveset for Kirby going on, which is also fun. Yeah. Playing as the allies is fun. I like it a lot. I think there's a kind of a chauvinism around the world, particularly of console gaming sometimes, or this goes to PC too, that I think of as shooter chauvinism. And that's when you pick up a controller and you're going to play a game, and if you're playing a first-person game, you immediately expect to control like Call of Duty. Sure. And if you're playing a third-person game, you immediately expect it to control like Uncharted. Sure. And those, we've learned where all the buttons are. We know how everything's supposed to work, and that's that. And if anyone diverges away from that, even for good reason, I immediately see negative response. This isn't exactly what I'm already used to. Yeah. It's the same on PC. If you don't control with WASD and a mouse, then why would you bother? Go ahead.
In the Fortnite Let's Plays, that was something I kept bitching about. Like, not like bitching, but I'm doing it again. I want to crouch, so I hit circle, but that brings up the building map. I'm like, fuck no, sorry. R3 is crouch on this game. And then jumping into Far Cry last night again, it's just like, perfect. This is exactly how it should control.
And the problem is, I think if we get into that too far, we begin to do some of what we got at the end of the second great and beginning of the third great console generation, when we had platformers and side-scrolling platformers almost, I mean, they got brilliant, but they also got stale.
Yeah.
Because we're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. You don't want that. You can have your comfort food, but if you're not going to play a game because it's unfamiliar, and I feel like Kirby suffers from this a little bit. If you're not going to play a game because it's easy and you don't like easy things, you're not going to play a game because it's colorful or chaotic, I think you're missing out on something. The example I always use from my childhood is Bionic Commando, one of the best platformers ever. In the history of the medium, it's a top 10 platformer. You can't jump in Bionic Commando. And this is a game that comes out in the NES era of great platformers. And the first time I played it as a kid, I was like, this sucks. Because it's not run and jump.
Yeah.
It's not run, jump, shoot. It's not the controls I'm used to. It's not, by then, the great platformers were coming out, and I'd gotten used to it, and I had a feel for it. I was just like, this is different. This is awful. I went back to it very soon afterward because somebody's like, no, you got to try this. And discovered, oh my gosh, this is the perfect video game. After I spent an hour learning to rewire my brain that, wow, different can be good. Now, Kirby is not Bionic Commando. This is a fine game, but it's not a masterpiece. But
You can jump a whole bunch in this game.
It's an excellent video game, and I think people that have the means may have a lot more fun with them than they imagine they would.
You heard it here first, ladies. Well, probably not first. There's a lot of reviews up on the internet.
Jared's first.
Jared's first. Hello there. You're probably wondering why I gathered you here to this press conference. You're not alone. These people are wondering as well. The thing is, it's all about movement sunglasses. Now, they are ashamed that they don't have them, so they can't even look at me. They need to ask somebody else. They're just raising their hands, asking, where can I get movement sunglasses? Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you can get them at mvmt.com/kinda. Just like I did, mvmt.com/kinda. You see how good I look? I looked this good at the Let's Play Spring Break. Everybody was coming up to me. Adam Kovic, like, Tim, how you looking that good? And I told them movement sunglasses. Gia Harris, my beautiful girlfriend, came up to me and asked me, not at Spring Break, that was just at another event, a private event, you know what I mean? Just me and her. She's like, Tim, you're looking so good. How can I look as good as you? So we got matching sunglasses, same style, different colors. She wanted some that were a little bit more trendy. I like to be, a little bit more, what's the word, Kev? Give me what word am I looking for? Average on T, exactly, Kev. Thank you so much for that. Premium acetate frames, no cheap plastic. You got to see these as you're seeing them right now. I look fantastic. Kevin, do I look good? You've had movement sunglasses before. You have movement watches. You're a big fan of the whole movement brand, correct? With good reason. Tons of different styles and colors to choose from. You should see them yourself. I really do like these ones with just the kind of like the straight top. Gives it a different look. Most of the time I have them a little bit more rounded, What's the type of these that are? What's the color of these? Tortoise. Man, now you're thinking outside the box. Get 15% off today with free shipping and free returns by going to mvmt.com/kinda. Movement for how they revolutionize the watch industry. Now's the time to check out their sunglasses. Go to mvmt.com/kinda. Join the movement. Now it's time for the topic of the show. This one is going to be a lot of fun. It's crazy E3 predictions.
Whoa, we're crazy.
I was over
Jack Trenton returns.
Oh my God. Is that your crazy E3 prediction?
Crazy.
So this comes from Reset Era. I was over there and I saw a really interesting thread called Your Most Out of Left Field E3 Speculations That You Actually Believe Are Going to Happen. Was the name of the thread. Right up Tim's alley. Get hype moments.
Gatorade.
Come on, I'm in. So I was like, I started reading through it, and as I read through the first page, I was like, all of these posts are really interesting as like just think pieces of, could this happen? Will this happen? And like, I noticed myself kind of answering the question of like, no way, or like, oh, there's a good chance, or maybe. Or I haven't thought about that. And some of that stuff was interesting to the point that I'm like, I want to bring these up to you. So I went through, as the time of doing this, there was 5 pages on the thread. I tried to take out as many repeats as possible. There's a couple, but I took them all, and these are just in order of posting, and I want to just run them by you guys and just kind of discuss if we think it's possible, if we think it's a good idea, the likelihood of these things happening.
Okay.
The original poster was OS Nameless. And OS Nameless says, mine is sleeping dogs too.
Ooh.
I believe that that some year Square Enix will make it happen. I noticed that modern set open world games are notably absent. We've seen recent installments in Watch Dogs and Saints Row, and GTA Online is still making bank, so Rockstar won't be interested in a new entry for the time being. I think that leaves a good chance for a game to fill that open world void, and Square Enix is sitting on one of the best open world games in recent years. So last we heard, Sleeping Dogs 2 was canceled, that I remember. I remember it was announced or it was in production, and then it didn't happen.
Because they did the MMO thing that failed miserably because nobody wanted that.
I don't know how likely this is.
I'm thinking about this, and the first two places my mind go. One are the Square Enix already last year released or a little more than a year ago now, released a giant open world game they couldn't finish in Final Fantasy 15. An amazing game, but not done. I mean, what you got there is a fine video game, but it's pretty obvious that at some point the budget ran out and it was time to ship the game. And
Sleeping Dogs 2, who made that though? Was that one of the Western devs or?
Oh, United. No one made a Sleeping Dogs 2. Sleeping Dogs 1. Yeah, United Front Games, Mod Nation Racers, what the fuck up? Yeah.
So Western then.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a
Western
difference there from Final Fantasy.
But as a publisher, when you're going to pump your money into a firm, Sleeping Dogs, I don't have insider knowledge of this. The impression I get was that the original Sleeping Dogs underperformed based on what they had to put in it, because open world games are redonkulously, unimaginably, unthinkably difficult to make, especially in regard to art assets. And I don't want, no matter how difficult you think it is, it's even worse. Everything that exists in that world has to be rendered in high definition. Somebody's out there making a 1920 by 1080 compatible model of every scrap you see on every countertop in every room. And the amount of money it takes, even with what artists get paid, to create a universe with that many things that it practically demands a surefire hit to get some banker to sign on the dotted line, or to get some publisher, say like Square Enix, to sign on the dotted line. If you're dealing with a property that didn't do well, not because it was mismarketed or because it was inherently flawed, but just because it didn't click with the public, and it's even more expensive to make a game now than it was then, and you got a publisher that did fine on its Final Fantasy 15 sales, but between 13 and 15 has definitely come to understand just how much it costs to make an HD game, at a time where people's 4K expectations are also rising. I just don't see them taking the risk.
I think the only thing that makes that possible in any way is that there's still, according, we're going through this, I remember this and I hadn't heard about it, there's still a movie out there.
Ideas.
Yeah, that was one of the, when they announced a whole bunch of stuff, that was one of the things they announced, Sleeping Dogs movie. But yeah, Triad Wars had the plug pulled on it. Of course, I'm sure United Front Games, defunct. They went out of business. Or they got the plug pulled on them or whatever. The other wrinkle is they put out that, HD definitive edition. They did re-release it, and I don't think they saw the sales in that needed it. It's one of those many games that critically really well, and the people who played it really liked it. And it was like, there was something there. There was a great game there for sure, but I don't know if Square's willing to take that chance again, especially when like they're doing Tomb Raider and Avengers, and I'm talking about Western games.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's the reason that I think that it's not likely. Is I think that on the Western front, they have their hands full.
Yeah,
with a bunch of different things that they're working on.
All hands full on the Western front.
Everybody, you look. Everybody wants to know they're going to get their money back, and then more.
I think that Square Enix is going to let Sleeping Dogs fly.
Oh,
boo! We hate you.
Where's that?
It's been Gamescast, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Chobel comes with something interesting here. Something really interesting that I read this and I went, psh, ha, no. And then I thought about it.
Wait, yes.
Oh, get hype.
Microsoft to drop the Xbox Live Gold paywall. You no longer need Xbox Live Gold to play online on Xbox.
Wow.
Moving it in with Game Pass.
Wow.
That'd be a shaker. Is what they gain equal to what they'd lose? I'm sure they've run the numbers. I have no idea. I mean, if there's a formula internally that tells them that makes fiscal sense, Microsoft has not shied away from buying success before. I mean, they have just thrown money at walls to make Xbox succeed. So if they're convinced on a 10-year plan that this is going to make them more money, ultimately, that this will gain them market share, yeah, I could totally see them doing that.
Just give me, it's a little bit, for specifics here. You're saying the $10 I pay in Game Pass would get me the ability to play online? That's the deal? That's where online gets gated now behind that.
Behind that, other option being maybe it's not $10. Maybe the price does raise a little bit.
I think, well, so does Xbox or Xbox Gold, whatever it's called, go away completely? They just take that. If you want to play online, you got to buy the $10.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about games with gold? Does that go away?
I'm at games with gold. I think then becomes part of Game Pass, right? And like the discount.
Well, I think you can get rid of games with gold if you do that. Yeah. Then then if it's just that the ability to play online is now included for $10 here. Yeah. But
it sounds crazy because I'm like, why would they give up the money?
It's the money, but I still think you could sell it a different way of like, it'd be a cool move on their part if like, hey, all right, so what we're doing is we're raising the price of Game Pass. Game Pass is going up to $20 a month, and give everybody a moment to get all like, what the fuck, blah blah, and like, but we're killing Xbox Live.
Yeah.
No longer will you need to pay $60. If you pay the $20 for Game Pass, you get the ability to play online. Everybody's like, yeah.
It's like that gif of all the kids at the religious thing.
Yeah, you could see it. You could see them doing it to buy market share.
And that's the thing is like what you were saying is absolutely correct in my mind. Where I'm like, all right, this sounds like a crazy idea. Where it's like, why would you give up all that money? It's like, well, you're giving up the money to just move all those users, the millions of Xbox Live Gold users, over to be Games Pass users, so then they can go out and tell people we have this many users.
Yeah, but not even. What you're doing, right, is, sure, you're bringing all your Xbox Live people down to Game Pass, whatever. What you're doing is taking all of PlayStation's people who are like, why am I paying X amount of dollars on whatever you're paying for whatever you personally are paying for PlayStation Plus? Why am I paying for PlayStation Plus for a few games a month when I can go over there, play way less, play online for free technically, and then get all these extra games in Game Pass?
Yeah,
Again, we go back to, as I've said for months now, Xbox building this foundation to make it be that whenever they really want to get aggressive, they're like, look at everything we've done and everything we have here. You need this in your ecosystem.
There's a lot of follow-up questions that are going to keep this conversation coming back in interesting ways. So I want to move on.
Let's go on.
Move on from that. The Fireman says either Dragonborn or Doom Marine getting announced as a Smash Brothers character. Now, a couple weeks ago on the show, I said that's likely based on Bethesda's work on the Switch and involvement with the Switch. But then in other recent times, I think I only said this on a Gamescast, but I was talking to my boy Stealth on Twitter. And he brought up a really interesting point where he's like, when you look at Smash, when you look at Sakurai and the games that he's directed, it's all Japanese developers. Like they don't ever have stuff from American sides. The closest thing being Rayman as a trophy, not even as a character. So until we see that trend get broken, I think that it's more likely to see more Fire Emblem characters than it is for us to see the third-party Western characters. I hope that seal gets broken through, but I don't know. I don't believe it.
My problem with those two is that I can think of way more compelling characters that might be easier for them to swing. I'm sure Bethesda would like to have character in Smash Brothers, but those are the Doom Marine is you're looking out of his eyes the whole time. It's very hard for me to imagine that that's a character that Nintendo's going to be attracted to when you only see him in mirrors and screenshots and intro screens. Dragonborn a little more, but even that is, I just don't see that as being compelling. I think you can do better, and they know that. They've got their choice of things they want in their game, and I think they're going to be able to pick and choose what they want.
This will not be the last Smash Brothers prediction.
Oh, what a surprise.
Today. A lazy with 2 L's.
A lazy.
An actual trailer for the Final Fantasy VII Remake shown at Sony's conference.
I buy it.
Possible, but to be fair, we've seen an actual trailer before. The trailer at PSX, there was gameplay in it. I think that there's a chance. I don't think it's a guarantee. I don't think it's a slam dunk that it's going to happen. But we'll see. Continuing on Final Fantasy VII, Shooter McGavin, Blue Point Games, being brought on to assist with Final Fantasy VII Remake. Interesting. I don't think so, but especially now that we're seeing with the Luminous Studios going on and all that, and like just how Square's making some interesting choices. I don't know. We know that they're working on a high-profile remake of something.
Throwing more studios at something in the middle of a project, unless the project is completely off the rails, doesn't usually make a lot of sense.
Well, it sounds like they totally shifted and took it away from. What's the names? The guys that did the.
I'm having the same problem.
The battle.
In Final Fantasy.
Yeah, the people that were making Final Fantasy, CyberConnect.
Okay, if it's gone completely off the rails, then yes, Blue Point makes perfect sense. Obviously, they're a great choice for that. If that's the case, we need to readjust our expectations of when we're going to see this game, because effectively in that situation, you're probably talking about there's not outside of assets, there's not going to be a lot that's going to be salvageable. So it's going to be extend the timeline significantly. So I kind of hope this isn't true.
I still think that, but my thing is, I think that's still in line with what people expect from this game.
That's a good point too.
I don't know. There's something about the Blue Point that I'm like, I just don't buy it. I just don't think Blue Point and Final Fantasy VII. I'm interested, and I actually feel that'd be really good, but I don't think it's happening.
What do you think they're working on?
There's a lot of questions about that, so I'm gonna keep that too.
I hope it's Metal Gear.
Haas Versus says Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver remake by Blue Point. See, that's a pull, like a real pull.
Yeah,
but it's the type of thing that I'm like, maybe that's just wacky enough to work.
I don't know if you take the chance on it though, right? Like,
I think it's not impossible, but it's not likely.
Who owns Legacy of Kain?
Crystal?
We will?
I
see what you're saying. I see.
I think it was Crystal Dynamics or Eidos.
So now, okay.
So Square.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Developed by Crystal, published by Square, NX Europe, formerly Eidos Interactive.
Yeah, look at me.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I just think it's too niche.
That keeps getting thrown around though in the Blue Point conversation.
Sure.
And I think that that's just one fan said it and then other fans are repeating it type thing.
I mean, those games are, beloved by those who played it, but I just don't see like that getting as big a pop.
The character model's so cool though.
Sure. It's cool,
it's
man.
So cool. Yeah, I don't know. Spirited says Mother 3 during the Nintendo Direct.
I think that if you're gonna show Mother 3 now, you show it as a tie-in to Virtual Console whenever they decide to release that, whenever they decide to reveal that. Mother 3 is a great capstone to do that with. My fanboy hearts hopes that it's Mother 3 as a lead into a Mother 4 announcement, but
we will see Mother 3 at some point.
You think they do it when they announce hey, we're finally announcing what the Nintendo Online thing is, and this is the first game.
Yeah.
I think there's equal chance.
People lose their mind. They're going.
I honestly say there's equal chance of them doing that because that makes sense. But I also see a chance of them being like, it's on the 3DS. And putting it on the 3DS.
You know what?
Don't do it, Reggie.
As long as I get it. I don't care as long as I get it. We
will get it. I'm not convinced we're getting it this year, but we will get Mother 3 in America.
No, I will buy the Japanese exclusive Game Boy Light again if that's the only thing it's available on.
I'm sure you would, Jared.
Okay? And that thing was awesome.
Zool says Nintendo only shows 3 games and the crowd loves it. I don't fully agree with you. The crowd's going to love it. But I do think that their booth is only going to focus on 3 games like they have in the past. Those 3 games being whatever the big main thing is, Smash Brothers.
You don't think Smash is the big main thing?
What gets confusing is we know they're doing the Smash World Championship stuff, so I feel like that they've already told us a big section of the booth is going to be Smash.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much more they can focus on Smash in terms of booth space.
Do you think we'll see
I think there might be another big game there.
Do you think we see any Metroid
at E3?
Yeah. Any trailer or anything? Or
we'll get something from Metroid Prime 4 this year. I don't know that it'll be at E3. Nintendo has proven they don't give a fuck about following standards and keeping the biggest stuff for E3.
Yeah.
I mean, they just announced Smash. So I feel like it might not be at E3, but it could be at some other point, like maybe in later in October to talk about spring or some shit. But maybe.
Rad.
Observable says Halo Battle Royale mode. Free to play, dropping in September. Full Halo release, including traditional multiplayer, coming in March/April/May next year. First half of that, I'll buy it.
Take it to the bank.
I want Halo Battle Royale. I think we're going to get Halo Battle Royale. I think it'll be a Game Pass thing. Full Halo release, including the stuff? No, don't think so. I think it'll just be a Halo Battle Royale.
Have there been rumors of Halo Battle Royale that I've missed, or is this just something?
When me and Huber were doing our Get Hype moments, I was like, that to me would be the ultimate battle royale game. That's what I fucking want. I love how Halo controls, and that'd be fucking fun.
At this point, I'm expecting like Luminous Battle Royale.
Yes, I beg of you, God, please. Mizuguchi, if you're listening.
Yeah, but I don't think we're going to get especially not coming in March, April, and May. That's weird. Halo's marquee fall title, and I think it always will be.
If it was a battle royale, especially, yeah.
Yeah, and well, that dropping in September, I can see that.
Yeah.
Nrio25 says a new Super Mario Brothers game.
I'd like one. I think it's too early. I think we're more likely to either see Galaxy 2 or Galaxy DLC than a new Super Mario Brothers game.
Odyssey DLC, that's what I'm thinking.
Did I say Galaxy? Man.
Yeah.
I've been under these lights too long. Sorry about that. No,
Making your brain.
It's making my brain. No, Odyssey DLC or an Odyssey 2 hint in one or the other. I want one. I think we'll see another great 2D Mario game. I think Switch is almost perfect for it. Like we were talking about, control adjustments are going to be interesting. But I imagine Nintendo's has been looking at Switch for a long time thinking, what can we do with this thing if it takes off? A Mario game makes sense. I wasn't joking about a Mother 4 earlier. I actually think on Switch that makes sense. You can make that work. And so, yeah, I think it's probably too soon. I think we get more Odyssey DLC and they save that for next year.
I can imagine a port of New Super Mario Bros. Wii U with new Luigi U combined in one thing and putting it on there. But I also don't think that's this year. And I hope we never see a new Super Mario Brothers game ever again.
Wow.
Really?
We've talked about this to death on the show, but yeah, I want a new art style. Get away from that art style.
What about new Super Mario Brothers All-Stars?
Yeah, I would love that.
Mario Battle Royale.
Let's fucking go.
100 Marios dropped on the world. You got to hop on each other's heads and shit.
Soapbox
Floods
Killer.
there.
I play that.
Soapbox Killer returns. Says The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time remaster. Release date November 21st, 2018. The 20th anniversary.
Don't.
You know,
Don't
maybe.
get me excited for that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Twilight Princess is kind of the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remaster.
Fuck
That is true.
and
Except for the beginning taking way too goddamn long.
And we also got the 3DS version.
So that's the thing, Greg. It won't be on 3DS if it happens.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm aware that it's come out.
Master.
Quest. Put Majora's Mask in there too. Fuck it. Give me everything.
What about rebuilding Skyward Sword and doing it right?
So the name is soiled. You can't do it.
Yeah, there's no. My thing is, there's a question later. Let me just try to jump ahead to that. I'm not going to do that.
What about too much? the Legend of Zelda? Okay, what about revisiting Link's Awakening as a Switch title?
That's going to come up as well. Not fully, not that whole statement. But yeah, Soapbox Killer says Ocarina of Time, but that's specifically because of the 20-year anniversary.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's cool.
I feel that it's not going to happen. Like I think that Nintendo has too much going on in the
fall
in 2018 for that to be real. It'd be cool, but I don't think so.
What about Ocarina of Time Joy-Cons?
Oh,
Gold Joy-Cons?
Yeah.
Yes.
that'd be fun.
Cool.
Yeah,
Love like that. Like that a lot.
And then you get the super special ones that are ocarinas. You slide them off.
Yeah.
Then you go to GameStop and you get a plastic shield and a plastic sword to stick on your
There
Joy-Cons.
you go. Now we're talking. Yeah. Then
Popping
it's
out
all
there.
just
Yeah.
motion control. That's what I want. Yeah. Give me archery.
Frox says Prince of Persia. Please, God, please. It's not happening. Not this year.
Yeah.
It's not time.
When is time?
There's all the rumors of Splinter Cell coming back.
Sure.
I buy that.
Okay.
Prince of Persia. Oh, fuck. But next year's going to be Assassins again.
Well, what if they weren't, though? What if they weren't? What if it was that people like the gameplay of Assassin's Creed? We're gonna say have they said publicly we're taking another year off? I think they did, and we're taking, but they come back and it's not Assassin's Creed.
What if it's Assassin's Creed : Prince of Persia?
That'd be crazy. The Templars have given you the ability to rewind time.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't hate it. I'll take Prince in any form I can get him at this point.
But yeah,
yes.
I do want to.
And then it's me. I'm just not an Assassin's Creed guy. And I
get that.
don't want an open world.
And they don't
Persia.
feel the same. Yeah, exactly. You've got the Prince of Persia is mostly about dungeoneering and puzzle solving.
Puzzles, yeah. So I want to keep that, but I'll take it if that's the only way I get it. Soul of Miyazaki says, "Agents coming back, baby."
Oh Jesus God! Let it die! Let it die!
Agents.
Elite Beat Agents?
No, remember when Jack Trent came out and he's like, we're also, for PlayStation 3, we're also working on an exclusive with Rockstar called The Agent.
Oh, that.
And then it never came in every fucking year somebody says something's going to happen with
Can
it.
we have Elite Beat Agents Switch instead?
I would
fucking love that.
He's a walkie-talkie man.
I would love that.
Yeah, that'd be way better. Way more exciting.
Dark Cloud says Retro Studios rebooting Star Tropics. Nah, Star Tropics ain't never coming back.
I don't.
Dead franchise.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants Star Tropics. Well, I'm sure there's someone that wants Star Tropics back, but we didn't really want Star Tropics when it was happening.
And if Jared Petty doesn't want fucking Star Tropics, nobody wants it.
Nobody wants it.
Yeah.
Trigard has a long one here. Nintendo's online service is fully unveiled. The Virtual Console has been rebranded as Nintendo Vault, a Game Pass style Netflix style a la carte service, which allows subscribers to download locally to their Switch up to 5 games at a time. Alternatively, users can purchase individual titles, allowing them to keep them permanently. The service will launch with NES, SNES, N64, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, and GameCube titles, with Dreamcast and Wii coming later. One of the big new features of this service is a dedicated Nintendo Vault team who are committed to updating old titles or finishing off development on features of games that were never released.
Fuck you,
the service
Donald
will
Duck.
launch with Star Fox 2 and Super Mario 64's 2-player mode as examples of this. Oh, yeah, baby.
I want to live in your fantasy world, but not chancing it.
It's the
honestly,
dream
I don't
service.
think this is that far off.
You're
from what's gonna
preposterous
happen.
and you're drinking your own Kool-Aid and
what's wrong?
Gatorade.
I think
What's
the-
wrong?
Way too much dedication there. There's not going to be that much dedication.
The thing at the end is the only issue
team?
that I'm
Yeah,
having.
yeah.
But in terms of the consoles, I think that's very likely. Like we're gonna see Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, Game Boy Advance. Will we see GameCube? It's all but assured. And then Dreamcast and Wii, I don't think that's too big of a step.
It's not gonna happen.
Wii's the only thing
Wii
because
won't
of
happen.
motion.
Yeah.
But Dreamcast, I think so.
I prefer direct purchasing options. I have a feeling.
Virtual
everybody-
Console did all the Sega games.
No.
What are we thinking won't be on there? What about it?
Dreamcast.
Okay.
Dreamcast, Wii, come on. Stop building your bridge to the
Dreamcast will be
stars.
there, guys. Dreamcast will be there.
I think whether or not Dreamcast will be
Choo-choo
there
rocket,
is
please.
entirely up to whether Sega wants it there or not.
And they do. Sega wants their dream. How many consoles has Sonic Adventure been on? Every console, ever. Ever.
I don't think if
me see it
Sega
again.
comes knocking and says to
Let me see.
Nintendo, we'd like to put Dreamcast on Virtual Console, we're willing to pay to do the development and the emulation. I can't imagine Nintendo saying no.
5 games at a
I mean, think
time.
about the fact that you got some really weird stuff on the original Virtual Console. You ended up with Commodore 64 there for a while. MSX in Asia was there. You know, there's some interesting stuff. So, and while I do think it's far-fetched to think that there's going to be an internal team revising all of these, you do look at things like Sin and Punishment when it got ported to Virtual Console. They did, in Treasure at least, do some work on it to update some things. So it does happen occasionally.
What's the name of the team? And I love that I have you here because I know that you're
I'm
going
gonna
to
forget this. I'm gonna forget
You're going
this.
to forget it. But
I
you're going
put
to
me
know
on
it's
the
going to
spot.
be in there. The name of the team that did the NES Classic emulation.
NES Classic?
Yeah.
That wasn't Inti Creates and that wasn't M2, was it? Was it M2?
M2.
Was it M2
Yes.
that did? Did they do the classic emulation?
That sounds right to me.
Okay, they do a lot of emulation for Virtual Console, both on DS and Wii. So, but I don't want to speak out of my.
I might be wrong.
They
then.
do the best emulation in the
Okay,
world.
then good. Perfect. I say it's them. They hire them to do the specialization and all that stuff and make
Yeah.
it the best emulation ever on Nintendo Switch. I'm fucking in.
Yeah.
I'm fucking in.
They already
the
did
5
most of-
titles. Yeah, whatever. We're getting a little too granular with the details. So I agree with you on that.
I'm just saying, it's too good to be true. Don't believe it.
It's too good to be
don't
true.
get
Yeah,
hyped up.
And I don't know if
This-
M2
I'm
is big
sick
enough
of
to
seeing.
do all
I'm
of
sick
them.
of you crying yourself to sleep every E3.
This is it's been a couple years. You're a decade of dreams, but I don't know. This sounds pretty in line with what I'm thinking the online service, Virtual Console, whatever is going to be.
Yeah, I know they're going to want to feed us Netflix. I'm hoping for the ability to purchase things. I want to own these games, and I'm scared to death that once again I'm just going to end up subscribing forever to a service so that I can hold on to them until I die.
Kevin knows.
Filippo has a couple that we're going to go through. Monolith Soft is working on a Golden Sun reboot.
Okay.
Not unlikely.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. There's enough
Random, but not unlikely.
There's enough name recognition there that another shot at Golden Sun makes sense, especially as
think
a low
they'd be great
resource
at it,
process.
too.
Yeah. Sure. I'm good with that.
Sony Japan and MediaVision are onto Wild Arms 6.
Does anyone want Wild Arms 6?
I don't know.
Other than do you
people
remember
want Tales
anything
games?
about Wild Arms? Yes, I do. Do you want anything from other than the whistling at the beginning of Wild
Damn it,
Arms?
I was about to say this is the
Yeah.
thing you saw in the beginning.
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
me,
there's
but-
some good Wild Arms games. They're all right.
Now, this is the thing. I'm going to save it because someone else says it. Shadows Die Twice is Tenchu.
Tenchu, Tenchu in some form in a post Metal Gear world, Tenchu makes even more sense than it ever has.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of somebody coming out and making a Ninja Assassin game on the Metal Gear idea. So, sure, why not?
What do you think Shadows Die Twice is?
I don't even know what it is.
The Game Awards, there was the trailer from Software. There's just some weird bones that just said Shadows Die Twice. Is it Bloodborne 2? or is it a new IP, or is it Tenchu? I'm hoping Tenchu.
I don't think it's Tenchu.
I don't
It's too
think it
good.
is.
You're doing that's a siren in real life, our life, not your life. You're fine. Keep driving unless there is an ambulance behind you. Then Inception. I'm in your trunk. Let me out. I don't think it's Tenchu. I think that's wishful thinking.
Yeah. I don't
I think it's a new IP.
Yeah, From knows they can release new IPs. Why not do it? I mean, the fact that they've had
Could be
success with
Armored Core.
it, so why not do it? But yeah, I'd love to have a Tenchu game.
Asking Nintendo when I gotta pee.
Well, it's not Nintendo, but someone, I don't know who, was working on a Western RPG reboot of Legacy of Kain / Soul Reaver for Square Enix. Sadly, it's going to have service-based mechanics.
I seriously have nothing to say about
Okay.
that. I don't know, man. I mean,
Ubisoft working on a new 3D Donkey Kong for Nintendo. Yes, Rabbids are in it.
Donkey Kong Rabbids would probably work if you did it right, but I'm not sure that they would have. I'm not sure that
I
Ubi
don't think they have
would
the
develop-
resources to be jumping into that.
Well, Ubi probably does.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, they have so many projects, and I feel like if they already had the success of Rabbids, I imagine a sequel is more likely than.
They spent like 3 decades making a skiing game. Ubi's, I'm sure they have resources. But no, it's a fun
The
prediction.
right resources. I mean, I'm sure they have the resources and teams, but the right teams to make a 3D Nintendo platformer, they can't fuck that up.
I don't see that one. Donkey Kong v Rabbids could be really funny. I think we'll see Rabbids in more Nintendo games, and that actually is a better pairing than most. But I don't know if it'll be a 3D platformer. I think it might be something more quirky.
Zelda Galaxy 94 says more Labo from Nintendo. I don't think at E3.
No, later.
Yeah.
Later. When
E3 is too soon. They might make a reference to it in the direct, but even then, that's too old school.
No, they
E3.
won't have their financials at
You're
that
right.
point.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think you wait to see how it did.
Let's see. I'll jump to it. Jet Jaguar says Retro is making F-Zero.
Okay.
That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, an F-Zero game at this point makes a lot of sense. Switch
And
F-Zero.
Retro would do it so well.
Holding
Man,
this
Sega knocked
here
it out.
and playing F-Zero, I mean,
I'd be in, man.
just... will they make a Star Fox Zero remake that fixes it
Let's
while they're
hope
at it?
not. Let's
No,
hope
no,
not.
no.
Let
I
it
just wanna
fucking
fix-
die. Let it fucking die in a fire. Star Fox, one of my favorite franchises of all time.
love Star Fox.
I love it. How many times? 64 specifically, my favorite one. I know that's not crazy. Star Fox Assault on GameCube. Flawed game. The on-foot stuff, very bad. The tank stuff, not fun. All of the Arrowing stuff, fan-fucking-tastic. A
Arrowing
true
stuff's good.
sequel
Yeah.
to Star Fox 64. But why is Zero not only shitty motion controls, but everyone's always like, oh,
I assume people need these.
Thank you. Thank you
love
very
you.
much.
It's a marathon podcast.
This is my 8th in like 3 hours. so-
Please keep drinking. Save your tabs. We're sending them to a kid.
the thing with Star Fox Zero is that people are like, oh, if you take out the motion controls and just have it be a traditional Star Fox game, it'd be good. No. Then it would just be a worse remake of Star Fox 64. We've already seen that before.
Do you think it's a word? I actually like Zero. I thought Zero was fundamentally sound outside of the weird aiming. That just made it frustrating.
No, man. The story elements, the way the characters talked, their voices, it's like everything I like about Star Fox in 64, Zero just did worse, man.
All right, so let's just get a new Star
icky.
Fox then.
All right, Greg, now that you're back,
Thanks, bud.
I'm going to drop a motherfucking bombshell on you. These people are crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Tumari says Microsoft announcing that all new Xbox first-party games will be coming to the PlayStation platform with the addition of Xbox to PlayStation crossplay with Game Pass.
that would be crazy.
Can
That would
you
be an amazing
imagine?
announcement.
They're like, we're just stopping making
Like
consoles too,
fucking
by the
dude,
way.
Games Pass. Hey, it's best on Xbox One, but
Yeah, play
it's
it over there too. Yeah, no, that's not happening.
not happening.
No.
I don't
Not
think that will take place.
Yeah, probably not.
Good for
find
them,
that
though. Bees are
unlikely.
crazy. Dream.
SMD says Xbox 2 announced.
No, too early.
Too early.
I think you got exactly.
We're only
I think
4.5 years in.
I think they get to come out and say how great Xbox One X has been doing. We saw 95 games support X. That's probably more than that actually. Support Xbox One X enhancements, and I'm proud to announce that in the coming year we have a commitment for 300 more games. All right, great, whatever.
I would not be surprised if a few choice partners have pre-dev kits to play with to get an idea where
sure.
they're headed, but I think we're way out of anything like an announcement.
Egg and Snake says
Egg and Snake.
Mag 2.
Massive Action Game 2. Wow.
Sony buys Zipper again.
Oh, jeez. Wait, they buy Zipper again? They still own Zipper. They closed it down. They opened Zipper.
Mag 2 makes me so. The other night I was desperately downloading Wii points because they were shutting the virtual console, the original Wii virtual console down, your ability to purchase Wii points. And I was going through the WiiWare store and I'd forgotten that MDK2
Oh my God!
was on the WiiWare store. Just flipping, that's like, wow, that happened.
That did happen.
Yeah, I think Mag 2 gets
Mag.
about the same odds as MDK2.
Sony's like, hey, we've been doing really well. Let's fuck it up.
It's a third-person SOCOM-like battle royale game this time.
No. On top of, I mean, like, in no universe are they saying Mag 2. No one is getting up on the Sony stage and saying Mag 2. All right. Remember that game that most of you don't remember outside of a joke? Probably we're bringing it back. No, they'd call it something else if they wanted their own first-party thing, but they don't. They don't want that.
What if that's their presentation? Is Gio gets up there and he just pulls a Vita out of his pocket? It just says Mag 2
We're
on the screen.
stopping
And
everything else. This is what
That's
it is. The security chases Gio down. Turns out he quit 4 days earlier.
Aegon Snake says, Naughty Dog had 2 studios all this time, and they revealed their new sci-fi EP.
So 2 teams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I think if Last of Us was releasing this year, maybe, sure, but no.
No.
That's the last thing Naughty Dog needs now is another team working on another game that's probably coming way later than people think it is and getting every interview, everything, every tweet.
Microsoft releases a new IP.
Confirmed. That'll happen for sure.
Yeah.
You think?
Microsoft puts out a new IP?
Yeah.
At E3?
Period? They just
At
announced
E3?
a new IP. Yes.
I think
That
so
will
too.
happen.
I think so too. They know they need exclusive IP right now.
Yeah, I thought that was a joke. I thought I cut you off. Yeah, of course they're going to say they have a new IP.
I don't know. New?
Yeah, they
I
need
can
to
see
get
it bringing things back.
They need to get people a new exclusive.
Phil
reasons to
Spencer's,
purchase the Xbox.
it changed his tune a bit on that, right? Of like, I understand about buying studios and having their own exclusives and yada yada. Just to shut people up about like, oh, there's nothing in their roster. They're going to come out and say they have stuff. There's going to be a lot of new IP, I think.
I hope so. And I definitely think that it's likely, but I don't think it's a guarantee.
It's Greg Miller's lock of 2018.
Yeah, I'm with you on
Microsoft
that.
will have a new IP at E3. Come on, Tim.
I mean, dude, I'm just saying.
Here's what's going to happen.
What has proven that in the past couple of years?
Every time a new IP is shown at Microsoft, and like, what are you saying? That they're going to own lock, stock, and barrel? They're going to publish a new game? They're going to, what are you going to, new IP?
Yeah, like another thing that's like,
There
was
Halo?
Halo, there was Gears, there's Forza, here's this thing.
I think there'll be something completely original there because I think Microsoft has people sitting in boardrooms throughout the last 2 years going, oh, Lord, we need to give people new reasons to buy this thing. And more importantly, to buy the next one, to buy part 2 on whatever we're making next.
I feel you. I agree with you. I don't think it's a guarantee. Like Sea
Greg
of
Miller's
Thieves
lock
was one.
2018. As soon as it happens, and I don't know how we'll prove it because they're playing fast and loose with terminal. Oh, fucking console exclusive first in fall. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? But when it happens and when we know for sure, you get a big
And again,
kiss
I'm
on the
not,
forehead.
I'm not talking about
Windows
small
10
little, I'm not talking about like smaller titles.
Oh,
like
I don't
The
give a
Last
shit
Night.
what you're calling about, what you're talking about.
no,
You
I
said
wanna
new
be-
IP. You just said new IP.
so
You
would-
just said new
would
IP.
The Last Night count?
New IP.
Would The Last Night count?
I don't even know what the last night is.
The Last Night's that cool pixel-looking cyberpunk game.
Oh, is that exclusive for them though?
Yeah.
Do they own it?
I don't know. It's exclusive to them.
But do they own it? Is it Microsoft published and owned?
I don't think so. Okay. Microsoft published, owned.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm with you.
Ori and the Kind Florist.
Kind Florist. Well, they already
right.
got. Well, they got.
That's it already. Yeah, that's true. Dory and the Kind Florist. It's a new IP.
Skyrim 2 is announced.
No.
No.
I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility for them to come out and show a trailer during their Bethesda E3 event that they're doing again and yet again, just like last year. It's a very much like outside of Wolfenstein 2, what are they going to possibly have? Oh, they can't do another one this year. Oh, they're doing it. What are they going to have?
They-
A whole bunch of stuff.
I think they got one more buffer project. I don't know that, but I think it. And even if they don't have another buffer project, I don't think it'll be Skyrim 2. I think it'll be Elder Scrolls something.
We'll see. Do I get points if it is Elder Scrolls something or no?
No.
Oh no!
It has to be Skyrim
I'm not
2.
saying that it has been. I'm saying that I don't think they will produce a game called Skyrim 2. I think they will make an Elder Scrolls colon, and it'll be a new thing.
Tim, I know you do. Do you remember in Batman Forever when Jim Carrey would let his cane go down like that?
I do.
Catch it in the
I
hand?
do.
That was
Yeah.
really cool. Jim Carrey, if you're watching, you're cool.
Great segue here. A Superman game announced by Rocksteady.
Don't fucking play with my emotions.
Dropping the bat over there. Yeah, why not? Superman would. There needs to be a Superman game. Superman has gotten pooped on way too long, and it'd be nice to see a good Superman game. And if anybody's going to give him a good treatment, it'd be Rocksteady. So why not?
I don't see it happening.
I don't think that. I think it's time that we finally hear about what Rocksteady's doing. And they say they're not, they tell literally Greg Miller they're not teasing something. They're teasing something all the time with their milestone lunches and all this shit over there in their mocap rooms.
Yeah.
I think it's time that at E3 they're going to come out on someone's stage and be like, hey, guess what?
Either Killzone, Warhawk, or Resistance are revived by Sony.
Killzone can die in a fire.
Hell yes, though. Rico.
Warhawk's fine. Warhawk would be interesting, actually.
Warhawk was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I
Warhawk be interesting.
really dug Warhawk on PS3. Now, granted, it was early days of PS3 online. You know what I mean? What are we doing? But that was a fun game. Starhawk got too complicated, I thought, and too was it real-time strategy? Whatever, too strategic in a way that was weird. But again, no, I'm talking about Starhawk though. I'm talking about the sequel or the spiritual successor, Starhawk. Yeah. I would love it, but I think Sony looks at the field and it's just like, we don't need to enter this market. Like our third-party partners are doing it and they're playing on PlayStation. Let's not even bother getting into this.
And then the third was Resistance.
Resistance is not happening now.
Yeah, I mean, of the three, that's the one that I'd probably be most excited about.
I think before Tim Gettys dies in a motorcycle accident, there will be another Resistance.
You realize that if I die in a motorcycle accident, it's because a motorcycle hits me.
Yeah, well, I know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm aware. Yeah.
Somehow that takes it from grisly to awesome.
Oh, I don't know. From fucking awesome to sad.
It's just that last second screaming. Oh, that thing you always do. Yeah.
And then the final one for today, because I'm realizing that I printed out 6 pages.
I noticed there were a lot there, and I was like, I need water and a pee.
If you guys enjoy this and you think this is fun, let us know in the comments, and then we'll bring it back in a future Gamescast. If not, tell me and quote to die by getting hit by a motorcycle. Okay, that's how we're going to.
And bonus points to anybody who animates it and takes the scream from any other episode of Tim doing anything.
So the last one comes from Revan. Ninja Gaiden 4 is announced, along with an HD remaster of the 3D games.
I think the HD remaster is unlikely. I think that Ninja Gaiden 4 is entirely possible.
I agree with you. Ladies and gentlemen, they're not just going to let Ninja Gaiden fucking die.
No, it'll be back eventually. I just don't know where we're at with them.
You always got to say it like that guy in the Wizard. Ninja Gaiden!
And I don't think it'd be 4. I think it'd be another reboot. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Kind of Funny Gamescast.
Bien. Muy
buen. We talk to you and love you and stuff.
I love that you said it wrong when you... No, you said muy buen.
Muy buen.
Love you.
I'm not the most cultured, traveled man, Jared, all right?
Hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, click here to subscribe to youtube.com/kindoffunny. Click there to subscribe to the normal Kind of Funny page where you get the MCU in review. Click there to support us on Patreon, and click over here for whatever Kevin wants to put here.